Okay, so for the Katrina group, the first step you're going to do is move over your files like we always do. So, but this time we're going to go to period 3 from the shared drive, Delmar Digital Photo, Digital Filmmaking. We're going to go into period 3. We're going to go to theatrical light painting, and we are going to select the Katrina group. We're going to copy this and go back to our drive, my drive, digital filmmaking, digital photo 1, and go ahead and paste those in this folder. I pasted them in another folder, so I'm just going to keep going there. Okay. All right. So here's where I pasted them, but for you guys, you are going to paste them just right here in your digital photo 1 folder, okay? So that you have a folder in there called Katrina Group, okay? All right. So now I am going to go and show you something you were going to be working with. I opened up Photoshop. I made a list of images for your stop motion animation, and each of you are going to edit 4 of these. So I will pass this out to you. There's a total of 20 images that we're going to be making for our motion animation. We're going to have a combination of 3 images that you're going to be combining: a front image, a middle image, and a back image. And then we're also going to combine the model image, okay? So look at your paper, look at the numbers that you're going to be editing. You're going to be editing 4 of them in total. So I'm going to just demonstrate it with okay, so let's go back over here to my drive. Let's go, I'm going to go get those images. Remember, they should be in my drive. And I'm sorry, I keep saying digital filmmaking, digital photo folder. Here you go. And then it will be in here. You should have a folder called Katrina Group. Okay. Mine's a little bit deeper down here, so I'm going to go to where I put mine, but yours will just be Katrina Group. It'll just be digital photo 1, 2, 3, 23, 24, and then the next folder will be Katrina Group, okay? So I'm going to demonstrate using this first combination. So I'm going to open up 6193, 6193, okay, and 6244. So I want to hold down 6244. I have to hold down the control key. Okay, so now we have 6193, that file under file name, and 6244. So, and then we have to open up one more image, and that's going to be 6295. Okay, so I'm going to come down here. I'm going to go to 6295. I'm going to hold down the control key. So now I have 6295, 6193, and 6244 that I'm opening. And I'm going to click. I'm also going to open the model flatten image. Okay, so now I got 4 images I'm opening. All right, so go ahead and open that up. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to combine these 3 images. So we're going to start with the back first. We're going to go to select all, Control A, edit, copy, Control C, and then we're going to go back to the front image and we're going to do edit, paste, Control V. And then we're going to select lighten. Okay, and now we're going to go to the middle image, this one right here, Control A, Control C, and Control V, and we're going to put that right in the middle. So we have our background, we have our middle image, and we have our back image. We have our So I'm going to make that also lighten. So we combined all 3 images now. So we have our back image, we have our middle image, and we have our front image, okay? So I'm going to select the top image, image 3 at the very top, and now I'm going to select my model, Control A, Control C, and Control V, and I'm going to click OK. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a layer mask, but the layer mask needs to be black, so I'm going to hold down my Alt key on my keyboard. So I'm holding down my Alt key on my keyboard and I'm clicking on that. So now our model disappears, okay? And that's all right. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go in with a soft brush. We're going to have 0 hardness, maybe 300 for now. And what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that we got white over black by clicking on this little toggle, or you can click on the X. Click on the X, and we're going to start to bring oops, I accidentally painted white on my model, so I'm going to go back, add my layer mask. There we go. And I'm going to make sure I'm on my little layer. And now I'm going to start to paint my model forward. Okay. And I'm going to probably go around the edges in a minute, but for now, I'm just going to make sure I have my opacity set to 100%. I'm just going to close my history for right now, but my history is right here. And I'm going to close it for now so that it's not blocking my editing in any way. And I have a window navigator right here open. It's called, so I want you to open this. So go to Window, go to Navigator, make sure it's open. And that's what this is over here on the right. So I can kind of zoom in on this. You see that? And then I can move this little square around. Okay. And that way it lets me zoom in a little closer so that I can see exactly what I'm doing. I'm going to get in even a little closer. Okay. And I'm going to go all the way around. And I'm going to have to like remove that. I'm going to have to go back in, X, and put black over white and kind of go around the edge here of this and make sure that I've blending this tube properly. But for right now, I'm just going to, okay. And do the same thing over here a little bit, just making sure I'm blending that tube. I'm going to have to go around the edge a little bit more. So let's turn that back to white over black. And let's go in even a little closer. And I'm just going to go really careful around this edge here. Now, I may want to make my hardness a little bit, maybe like 60% or 70%, so that I can get in closer on that edge. Oops, I just got a little bit of black there, so I'm going to go back in and fix that. Having a little bit of hardness helps to just, whoops, didn't mean to do that, so let's put that back in. Okay. Okay. And then I'm going to make my brush even smaller. Maybe make it like 75 so that I can go around this edge a little more and just get rid of the black going along this edge here. A little bit here as well. Okay. And a little bit here as well. Okay. Now what I want to do is I want to bring her feet forward. So I'm just going to bring her feet forward here. Okay. Okay, so there's her feet. And I want to put my hardness back down to 0 and maybe make my brush a little bigger. And I'm also going to put black over white so I can kind of start to blend in this stuff that's kind of around her feet a little bit like this. So it's a little bit darker, so it's not so bright. But the thing is, I want to make sure that I don't have her shoes kind of blending, into into the sand. So I'm going to really kind of zoom in close, and I'm going to switch this around so it's white over black, and then I'm going to go in really close on her shoes and just make sure that I got her Doc Martens here and also the legs here as well. And then I'm going to turn it back to black over white so I can get in with a very tiny brush and just go around her shoes so that we don't see that white glow. We don't want to see that white glow around her shoes, okay? Definitely don't want to see that white glow there. Okay. Looks pretty good. And now I'm going to back out a little bit and I'm going to add a little bit of light to the gravestones because right now they're pretty dark. So I'm going to make my brush a little bigger. So maybe about, there we go. And I'm just going to kind of bring the details forward on, there we go, on the gravestones here. And I'm going to get rid of that dark purple there and kind of get rid of some of the shadow here a little bit. Maybe get rid of some of the shadow in the back, but I want my opacity to be about 30%. And also I can use my bracket key on my keyboard to make my brush a little bigger. So I can make it bigger using the bracket key. So I'm just going to kind of blend this in here a little bit, but not too much, but just a little bit. And make sure I've got my gravestone showing up. I'm going to get rid of the shadow here because under on the model image that's lighter there. So I'm going to get rid of this shadow here. I'm going to kind of get rid of these shadows a little bit here, just a little bit on this side, and take away some of the shadow on the gravestone a little bit, get rid of the shadow there, maybe here, and maybe the corner. Okay. And then I'm going to just back that up and see how that looks. Okay, maybe get rid of some of these shadows here. Okay, that looks pretty good. So if I turn that off and on, we can see how that's blending in pretty nicely there. Okay, and I wonder if I can get a little bit of darker purple here. No. No. That's pretty, oh yeah, a little bit. I could get a little bit darker purple there. Okay, and then back it out and I'm going to go in with a darker brush here, just a black brush in the corner here. I'm just going to make these corners a little bit darker here with some black. Let's make these darker. On layer 1, it looks like I need to do, let's do it on layer 1, yeah. There we go. Let's make our brush nice and big and just kind of darken these corners a little bit. There we go. That's on layer 1. Okay, so now it's time to, let's zoom in a little bit closer and just check everything out. Everything looks blended pretty well. We've got lots of pinks and purples and different shades in there and shadows, and that's exactly what we want. Um, so we're going to go File and we're going to go Save As. And we're going to make sure that you're saving it back in the same folder with all your images. We're going to call this KG underscore 1, okay? Because that's what this image is. So if we look at the document, it's combination 1. So we're going to call it Katrina Group 1, and we're going to save, okay? And then if we go and look in our folder, we will see it right there. So by the time we're done, we're going to have 20 of these images, okay? Everyone's doing 4 of them.